Hello, it's Lisa Hiles here with lesson 24 of my B1 course for intermediate level learners, for those of you with an IELTS score of 4 to 4.5. Today's lesson is on describing past habits and past situations that are no longer true. So we know that we can use the past simple for those forms, but today we're going to be looking at a form called used to, and we'll clarify its meaning and use and form, speaking and in writing, and we'll compare it with the past simple and another form that's used for past habits, which is the would form. Okay, enjoy. I have some very funny photos for you to look at in the first task, which are connected to my past. Here we go. Look at these old photos of me, and what do they tell you about my past? So here you can see me cuddling a cat. In this one you can see me smoking, and in this one you can see me. Do you know which country I'm in? That is the Colosseum. So I am in Rome, that's right, in Italy. Okay, I look quite different, don't I? I know. Let's have a look at the next slide, and I'd like you to complete the questions about me, about my past, using the correct verb form. So there's a verb in brackets, okay, and you have to decide if you're going to use the past simple, used to, plus the base form, and or would plus the base form, and sometimes more than one form is correct. If you think more than one form is correct, for example, you think the past simple is always correct, have some practice with the past simple because they will be irregular verbs sometimes. Then think about if you can use used to, then think about if you can use would. Now this is a test of your knowledge, okay? If you don't know, that's fine. Wait for the language focus stage and then come back to this, okay? We'll do the first one together. So number one, this picture was taken by my mum when I be about 20. And the correct answer there is, I was once only 20 in my life, so the picture was taken by my mum when I was about 20. Good luck with the rest. Number two, I have a pet cat, but I don't anymore. Number three, my cat followed me everywhere because he loved cuddles. Number four, this picture was taken in 2000. I live in Rome, Italy. Number five, I walk past the Colosseum every day on my way to work. Pause the slide there if you need more time. Number six, I go inside the Colosseum only once in 3 years, but it was incredible. Number seven, I have dark hair, but I go grey very young. Number eight, the third picture was taken in Indonesia in 2003. Before I have my children, I go on really exotic holidays, but I don't anymore. Number nine, I also smoke, but I've given up now. Now, I expect you need some time to do those, so please go back and you are deciding whether to use the past simple, used to, plus the base verb, or would plus the base verb, okay, for talking about past situations and past habits, okay? Sometimes all three will be possible, okay? If you don't know, don't worry, we'll have a look at the answers and then we'll go to the language focus stage, okay? Hopefully here come the answers. Yeah, I just need to put there and get rid of me. Okay, here we go. So number one is was. Yep, I was about 20. So past simple here. I was 20 once in my life. I know it was for a year, but it was one time. You can't repeat. You can't be 20 repeatedly. I can't be 20 again in my life, unfortunately. So it's not a past habit. Okay, number two. I had and I used to have a pet cat. Okay, so this describes a past situation that is no longer true. I used to have a cat, but I don't anymore. Number three, my cat followed. Past simple is always correct. Used to follow, past habit. Would follow, also past habit. Fond memories. He would follow me. So if something is a happy memory, we often use the would form, as we will see later. Would follow me everywhere. Number four, I lived or I used to live in Rome. Number five, I walked, used to walk, or I would walk, contraction I'd walk, past the Colosseum every day. I'm back. I meant to press that. Okay. Number six, I went inside the Colosseum only once in 3 years. Number seven, I had or I used to have dark hair, but I went grey, very young. Number eight, before I had my children, I went, used to go or would go, I'd go on exotic holidays, but I don't anymore. And number nine, I also smoked, or I also used to smoke, but I've given up now. Okay, how did you do? Sorry if I'm a bit flat today, I don't feel very well. There's a bug going around, a kind of flu. It's not very nice, so I'll try and smile more. Okay. So let's have a look at the language focus. I've got some questions for you which will hopefully get to the meaning of and use and how we use the different forms to talk about past. Okay, here we go. And I'll just take myself away. Look at these sentences about me from task 1. I used to smoke, but I've given up. So I used to smoke, but now I don't. Okay. Number 2, I used to live in Rome. Now I live in the UK, as you know, but I used to live in Rome, in Italy. Number 3, I'd walk past the Colosseum every day on my way to work. And 4, I visited the Colosseum once in 3 years. Can you answer the questions now, please? Look at the first one. Which sentence describes an action that happened one time only? Which tense or structure is used? So by that I mean, is it the past simple? Is it used to? Or is it would? The next one, which sentence describes a past situation which is not true anymore? Which tense or structure is used? Then, which sentence describes a past habit? Which tense or structure is used? And finally, which sentence describes a past habit or past memory and often has a clear time frame. Which tense or structure is used? Stop the PowerPoint there, freeze it there, because you really need to match the sentences 1, 2, 3, 4 to the definitions that begin with which. Let's have a look at the answers, shall we? Are you ready? Okay, so which sentence describes an action that happened one time only, and which tense or structure is used? Okay, so here we have I visited the Colosseum once, one time only, in 3 years, and that is the past simple. To describe a past situation, which is no longer true, we use used to. So I used to live in Rome, but now I don't. Used to, okay? I used to live in Rome. I used to live in Rome. And there's the pronunciation for you. So it's not used to, it's one word, used to. I used to live in Rome, but now I don't. Which sentence describes a past habit? And here we've got, I used to smoke, but not now. Okay, so our past habit, which is no longer true. I used to smoke, but not now. I didn't used to smoke. Did you used to smoke? Are the negative and interrogative forms. And finally, for a past habit, often a past memory that has a clear time frame, we use would. Now, this is a very singular, very unique use of would in this sense. Okay, so we use it to talk about past habits, and the verb has to be an action, past habitual action, so something that happened many times. Here we've got every day, and it doesn't happen anymore. So I'd walk past the Colosseum every day on my way to work. Now, I think what needs to be said here is if you have any doubts when talking about past situations or past habits, which form to use, the past simple is always correct. So I lived in Rome is as correct as I used to live in Rome. I smoked, but I don't now. I used to smoke. Both fine. I walked past the Colosseum every day on my way to work when I lived in Italy. Past simple, always correct. However, as you know, if you want to get higher IELTS scores and you want to show a more native speaker level of competence, then when we are describing past situations, past states that are no longer true, we will use used to. So I used to live in Italy, now I don't. I used to smoke, now I don't. I used to have dark hair, now I don't. All of those things. And would for past habits. So I'd walk past the Colosseum on my way to work every day. When I lived with my grandparents when I was little, my grandmother would read to me every night. My grandmother would cook me my favourite dinner every day. Okay, past habits, specific time reference when I was little, something that happened many times, and it's a very happy memory. So would has a very specific use. Used to is for past situations or habits which are no longer true, and past simple you can talk we can use when talking about past event that's no longer true. Clear? Of course, Lisa. So let's have a little bit of practice. You might want to read through the language focus task again. You might want to go back to the pictures of me again, you lucky things, and look at those sentences again and just get a feel. Try and identify, is it a past simple, why, a used to, why, a would form, and why. Okay, let's have a look at the next task and see how you get on. Oh, I can probably stay in this picture, can I? No? Here we go. So this is over to you now. I'd like you to think back to your childhood. So think back to when you were a child and complete the following questions. Okay? And here I'd like you to use the used to form. Okay? So we will do number 1 together. What games you play and what sports? So here you could say, what games did you play and what sports? Or more naturally, what games did you used to play and what sports when you were a child? Okay. Can you do number 2? What music you listen to? Number 3, what kind of music or film you like? Sorry, what kind of books or film you like? Number 4, you believe in ghosts? Number 5, you scared of the dark or spiders, snakes or anything else? Number 6, you play a musical instrument. Which one? And number 7, who you spent a lot of time with. Take some time to complete the questions now, please. If you haven't finished, pause the recording. If not, here come the answers. What games did you used to play? What music did you used to listen to? And look at the form here. Did you used to? So the D has gone. Yep. So when you use the did auxiliary, you drop the D on the end here. What games did you used to play? What music did you used to listen to, etc.? Okay, and number 8 says, answer the questions now so that they are true for you. Try to add more information to each question. Tip, use used to describe actions and states, and would, contracted, to describe actions that are happy memory. And I've given you an example. So, number 1, what games did you used to play when you were a child? And I've put, and this is true for me, when I was a child, I used to play hide and seek with my friends. I'd always hide in trees because I liked climbing them. Okay, so you can see, here's the question. What games did you used to play when you were a child? When I was a child, I used to play hide and seek. I'd always hide in trees because I liked climbing them. Yeah, to describe actions that are a happy memory. Your turn. So, what games did you used to play and what sports? What music did you used to listen to? Number 2. Number 3, what kind of films or books did you used to like? Number 4, did you used to believe in ghosts? Number 5, did you used to be scared of the dark? Or of spiders or snakes? Did you used to be scared of anything else? Number 6, did you used to play a musical instrument? Which one? Remember, these have to be things that are no longer true for you. Yep, so I don't play hide and seek with my friends anymore, which is why I can use the used to and the would forms. Yep. And who did you used to spend a lot of time with? Okay, so stop the PowerPoint now and answer the questions in as much detail as you can. Remember, this is your way of helping your memory. Okay, I hope you're finding this useful. I think we're coming up to a speaking task now for those of you who are doing a PET or an IELTS exam. This kind of task should help you, and here you get a chance to show what you know in terms of these forms. Yeah. So here the task is describe a happy memory from your childhood, school days, or an early period in your life. So if you're young, if you're just at university, you can look on your childhood or your school days. If you're a more mature student, like I'm a more mature teacher, I can also think about the time in my 20s or my 30s, yeah, and how my life is different. So think of a happy memory. You should say when and where the event happened, who you were with, what happened exactly, and why it's a happy memory for you. Okay, would you like to see a model answer that I've done for you? And then you can go back and do your own. Okay, so this is the one that I did. Here we go. This photo brings back happy memories. This is me and my husband Julian in Indonesia in 2003. Before we had our children, we always used to go on really exotic holidays. We would, we'd never stay in just one place, but we would hire a car and travel around to get to know a country better. We used to be quite adventurous. We learned to scuba dive in 2003 on this holiday, and once we swam with reef sharks. It was an unforgettable experience. Okay, so here you can see I've used the past simple to talk about one single action in the past, an action that happened once. I've used to describe a situation that's no longer true. And I've used would to talk about past habits, repeated actions. Okay? So, sorry, I wanted to take you back to the task. Let me find the task again. Okay, so think of a happy memory from your childhood, from your school days, or an earlier time in your life. Make some notes. I would like you to speak for at least 1 minute fluently on this task. So it'd be a really good idea just to make some notes of some important or key words. Yeah, to say when and where the event happened, who you were with, what happened exactly, and why it's a happy memory for you. Why don't you record yourself on your phone? Yeah? Or write it down in full, what you say, and then look at your piece of work and see if it's possible to use used to or would to talk about past situations or past habits. That is the end of the lesson today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you for lesson 25. Thanks very much for listening. Bye for now.